Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm a music teacher and a content developer for Western Vocals. Today's video is 5 tips for not quitting. These are some things I picked up from the book Finish by Jon Acuff. Because we have this idea of perfectionism in our head, and in my previous video I spoke about how in order to maintain positive habits we can build streaks. So we can use a calendar and mark X on every day that we've done a habit. And after a while we start to see a series of X's and we're unlikely to quit because we want to keep the streak going. The only thing is, if you don't do your habit for one day and you start to see a gap, you shouldn't just throw it all away, right? Because sometimes that can happen, where in your head you've built up this image of yourself doing a certain thing every day. Like for example, if you're on a diet, right? You eat junk food one day and you're like, might as well eat junk food for the rest of the week. Eat junk food for 1 week in the month and you're like, might as well eat junk food for the rest of the month. Or if you're working out and for some reason you got busy and for 1 month in the year you were really busy and you couldn't work out properly, you kind of chuck the entire thing, right? So what you can do is just zoom out, look at the entire year and be like, okay fine, even if I lost 1 month, I'll come back and make it up in the other months, right? So you do damage control instead of having all or nothing thinking, which is either I do it every day or nothing at all, right? Either I completely eat healthy, or if I have 1 spoon of ice cream, I might as well eat 5 kgs of ice cream after that. Also, we need to avoid this concept of might as well, right? Like I just described, it's like, oh, I had 1 bite of ice cream, might as well eat the entire thing. I ate junk food for 1 day, might as well eat junk food today also because I ate junk food yesterday, right? So might as well makes you go down a negative path. Forget might as well. If you stopped your positive habit or you've been doing something negative for a while and you realize you have to change, just cut it there, right? Do damage control and stop it right there. Don't just keep going and be like, might as well. I've done it for this long, might as well keep continuing. No. If you've acknowledged that something is bad or you've acknowledged that you're going down the wrong road, stop it and cut it off right there. The second thing is to cut your goal in half. Right, this again ties into what I've spoken about a lot in previous videos, which is setting unrealistic expectations. Right, sometimes if you feel something is way too hard, you're not likely to continue doing it. So instead of that, cut your goal in half immediately. One example I can give you is, let's just say I suddenly wanted to start running every Sunday morning. And for that I have to wake up at 5 and go to Cupboard Park or something. I might do it once or twice and then give up because this is just way too difficult for me. With my schedule, it's very difficult to accommodate a habit like that. But if I just cut that goal in half, like say instead of running every Sunday, I run every 2 Sundays or every second Sunday, sorry, I might actually be able to keep that up because maybe I just might be able to build up enough motivation every second Sunday to do something. Might not have the motivation to do it every single Sunday. It also depends on how important something is to you, right? Or you might want to lose 10 kgs in the next 1 month, right? So cut your goal in half, lose 5 kgs, start with that, right? Then we'll see about 10. And in doing this, you can actually keep cutting it in half and create like micro goals for yourself, right? In order to lose 10 kgs, you have to first start exercising. You have to first lose 1 kg, then 2, then 4, then 5, then 10, right? So cutting your goal in half just makes things seem easier, even though you're not making an excuse, right? You're on the path to the same goal, but just cutting it in half makes it more digestible for you. Third thing is choose what to bomb. This means choose what to fail at. To a lot of people, this might seem like a scary thing to do, like why would I consciously choose to fail at something? This is because if you want to succeed at one thing, at any given moment, if you're doing one thing, you're not doing something else, right? You can't be doing everything, you can't be good at everything. And people who are professionals at things know this. If you want expertise in one area, you give up other areas, right? That's how it works. And in life, you want to niche down on things that you're really interested in, passionate and good at, right? And you want to avoid things that you completely suck at and you hate and you don't find any interest in at all. At the same time, there are things in the middle, right? Things that you're kind of into, you're kind of good at, but if those things take priority over the things that you're most interested and most passionate in, then you're kind of doing it wrong, right? Because you want to leverage your interest in things because it'll fuel your motivation to keep doing it, to work hard, to get up in the morning and do, the necessary work that you have to achieve that thing. You have a burning desire. The reason it's called a burning desire is because you want it so badly, you're willing to forsake and sacrifice other things for the sake of this one thing. So you're gonna have to do that. You have to choose what to focus on and what not to focus on. So you choose what you'll take a chance on succeeding at and what you will deliberately fail or be bad at. So there are two kinds of people. People who are motivated by reward and people who are motivated by fear. So the people who are motivated by reward think of what they're going to achieve if they do certain things, and then they're likely to do that. Like if you're running every day with the idea that I get an Olympic gold medal, that's reward motivation, right? You're thinking of being on that podium and receiving that medal, and that inspires you to practice and work hard. On the other hand, there's fear motivation. So I think I'm more motivated by fear. I'm also motivated by reward, but mostly by fear. I know this because if I have to perform somewhere or sing somewhere, what actually gets me to practice is the thought of, oh God, if I go stand there and I don't know the lyrics and I'm just standing quiet. Like if I go to an open mic and then I just forget the lyrics, or if I sing off, those are things that make me want to practice, right? I practice so that I don't make a mistake. I practice so that I don't forget the lyrics, right? Of course, I do also practice because I picture myself, I picture the applause by the audience and people congratulating me and maybe winning a competition or an award, but I think I am slightly more motivated by fear than reward. So you have to figure out which one you are, and then you can use it to your advantage. 5 is we can use data to actually make us feel good about our imperfect progress. So like I keep mentioning, right, this idea of perfectionism, you won't progress the way you want to, and the idea you have about how you will progress and the way you'll actually progress will be different. So in order to get rid of that, we can form charts and data, right? So we can track our data over time. Like for example, time invested in something, how much time you spend doing it, money earned, financial goals, how much money you earned this year compared to last year, compared to the year before that, product sold, right? If you're into sales, weight lost or gained, and inches lost or gained, right? These are like fitness goals, body goals. So even if you don't lose 10 kgs in 1 month, at least if you lost one, something is better than nothing. And next month if you manage to lose 1.5, it still might not be ideal, but you're going somewhere at least, right? So that's the idea. So just to recap, use damage control. Don't just say, oh, had 1 scoop of ice cream, might as well have the entire thing. Didn't work out for 1 day, might as well chuck the entire week, right? Don't do that. Get back to it as soon as possible. Second is cut your goal in half, right? This just makes it easier for you to digest. The third thing is choose what to bomb. Basically, you choose what you'll focus on, and you know that because you focus on this, there are other things that you can't focus on, and you will suck at those things. So you make that conscious decision. Figure out if you're motivated by reward or fear, and use that to your advantage, right? If you're motivated by reward, then find a way to use visualization of whatever it is that you're seeking to motivate you to practice and work hard. If you're motivated by fear like me, then use the scariness of failing on stage or failing at the thing that you like. Use that fear to motivate you to practice and work hard. And the last one is use data to track your progress so that you don't feel compelled to attain this idea of perfect progress, right? You're happy with as long as you're moving and you're moving in the right direction. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave me a like, it helps me out a lot. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want more content like this. If you would like 5 tips for breaking bad habits, you can click on the first video. And if you would like 7 tips for building positive habits, you can click on the second video. See you there.